Channel 7 Eyewitness News with Tim Fleischer and Victoria Corderi. Bill Evans with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast and the Eyewitness News team. Now, Eyewitness News.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tim Fleischer. Housing, police, and drug enforcement agents have a message to send to New Yorkers. If you're involved with drugs, beware. Agents moved into housing units in a series of early morning raids, rounding up suspects. Bertha Coombs is live at Lower Manhattan now with more on this developing story.
Tim, we are at the Jacob Riis housing project. This is just one of the locations where agents from the Drug Enforcement Agency and the New York City Housing Police moved in to make arrests this morning. That sweep began at about 4 a.m. and we are told some search warrants are still being executed. It is a major drug sweep and authorities believe that they have broken a major heroin distribution ring that spanned across 3 state lines. More than 40 suspects have been arrested so far, many of them brought in for processing at the Drug Enforcement Agency's Chelsea offices this morning. Eyewitness News has learned the raids mark the culmination of a joint investigation by the Housing Police and the DEA that spanned 9 months into a major heroin distribution ring. Early this morning, 300 law enforcement officers from both agencies fanned out over 17 New York City public housing developments, including the Jacob Riis and Wald housing projects on the Lower East Side, as well as 27 other locations in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. At this hour, police are still processing the arrests and the other evidence that they've gathered. They have scheduled a joint news conference by the Housing Police and the DEA for 2 o'clock this afternoon when we will get more details, and we will have more on this developing story beginning today at 5 on Eyewitness News. For now, we are live in Lower Manhattan. I'm Bertha Coombs, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
And autopsies are set today for an Indian prince and his wife found dead in their Park Avenue apartment. The bodies of Prince Kahedkar and his wife Naneshka were found yesterday by a cleaning woman. Police say there was no sign of forced entry, but their apartment had been ransacked. The prince apparently died of a neck wound. No word on how his wife was killed.
A triple wake is scheduled for 3 this afternoon in Chinatown, mourning the loss of 3 brothers who drowned in a swimming pool outside of Boston last week. The teenagers were members of a Chinese-American tour group stopping at a motel in Andover. Although they could not swim, they went into the pool while no lifeguard was on duty. The victims were 16-year-old twins Vincent and George Chin and 13-year-old Winston Chin. On Long Island, the godmother of Catherine Beers has lost her fight for custody of the young girl. Linda Inghilleri argued she had cared for Katie most of her life. But yesterday, a judge ruled Inghilleri was a legal stranger and not entitled to custody. Last winter, Catherine Beers was kidnapped and held in an underground bunker. She is currently, though, living with a foster family.
Legal troubles have led Barry Feinstein to step aside as president of Teamsters Local 237. Since 1967, he has headed up the union representing 20,000 New York City workers. He reportedly has worked out an agreement with federal prosecutors. They will drop embezzlement charges against him, and he will be banned from Local 237 for life. Jim Florio follows up last night's rally in Secaucus with today's official announcement that he is running for re-election as governor of New Jersey. Former boxing champ Joe Frazier and Secretary of Housing and Urban Development Henry Cisneros joined him last night. But today's announcement is being made at this hour in Edison. Florio has no opposition in the June 8th Democratic primary.
The nation is waiting on the announcement of a verdict in the Rodney King civil rights trial. The jury has begun its 4th day of deliberations. Jim Dolan is live now in Los Angeles with more. Jim.
Well, Victoria, there clearly is a sense now, however misguided it might be, that a verdict is very nearly upon us. Overnight, they came in and installed these white concrete barriers around the federal courthouse, and across the street they installed temporary 8-foot metal fences, all to curtail any demonstrations. All of that from a city hall pleading with the citizens of Los Angeles not to overreact. Just moments ago, the jury came to the federal court building here in Los Angeles to begin what is, after all, only their 2nd full day of deliberations after 6 weeks of trial. The lawyers and defendants are all on 15-minute notice to the court here, and all on pins and needles as they wait for the verdict.
I think we will be acquitted, but that 1% that we might not be is real worrisome.
How does this compare to Simi Valley in terms of your feelings now awaiting a verdict?
I feel better. I do feel better this time going in. I think the evidence was a lot stronger, and I think our trial was a lot stronger this time.
In the neighborhoods, they worry about what will happen when the verdict comes down, and the defendants say they don't want to be the cause of that a second time.
It's scary to think that once again we could be looking at riots and burning, and I think this time, if there is one, if people are really angry, it could be far worse. But then again, you know, I'm hopeful when I see, you know, the people speaking out, the community leaders, that let's not do it this time.
If these officers go to jail, or if these officers are acquitted, it won't make bread any cheaper for single-parent mothers. It won't make milk any cheaper for senior citizens. And that there are bigger problems and bigger issues all throughout this nation that we all must come together on.
All that is backdrop for a city clearly preparing now for the trouble nobody wants.
We're ready, you know, we're ready. You know, we already got our stuff together, but because they come down here and they...
Tell me what you mean by that. What do you mean you got your stuff
we have
together?
our guns, like, you know, that, you know, our gats and, you know...
You got your guns ready in case there's trouble.
Because, you know, what I'm thinking about is my homeboys and my family.
Now, the jurors in the Simi Valley case last year reached not guilty verdicts on all counts except one in their first day of deliberations, and then they spent about a week haggling over that one issue. The charges are different here, simpler in some ways, and clearly now the anticipation of a verdict is building. Reporting live from Los Angeles, Jim Dolan, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Up next on Eyewitness News, inmates are still holding hostages at a correctional facility, but does anyone really know what the inmates want?
Plus, frightening moments for former President and Barbara Bush. They're on an airplane when something goes wrong. We'll have that story. Then later on, he is lawyer to the stars, but now Marvin Mitchelson finds himself in a legal bind. That is later on Eyewitness News.
My mother died. I had a wonderful mother.
Carol's vacation cruise turned into a love boat romance. That was 2 years ago. Now they're going to meet again for the first time. Coming out, Jonas. Come on out.
As a matter of fact, Carol, I'd like to ask you to marry me.
What do you think? Reunited with your vacation lover on the next Oprah. What did she say? Today at 4, right here on Channel 7.
I was shopping at Associated Foods when I saw this new grease-releasing Tide. I figured it was worth a try. I had this really tough hamburger stain on my new blouse. There was grease all over. My friend Jan felt terrible.
When it comes to tough grease like this hamburger stain, nothing beats the power of new Tide with grease releasers. Now at a great price at Associated Foods.
The grease was gone. I told Jan this new Tide got it out. That didn't surprise her, but the great price did.
Try new Tide with grease releasers now at Associated Foods.
Just a few weeks down the line, there'll be no place to hide. Fortunately, there is a place to turn. Call Nutrisystem. Call 1-800-321-THIN. Do it now and lose all the weight you want by Memorial Day for $29 plus the cost of meals. This is a limited time offer. Changing your body is as easy as changing your mind. Call 1-800-321-THIN. Once you change the head, the body's easy.
Do your bills arrive by the bag full? If you're a homeowner, call Statewide Capital at 1-800-DIAL-CASH and consolidate them into one low-cost home equity loan. Even if you've been turned down at the bank, you can lower your monthly payments. The interest may be tax-deductible. Then pull just one bill out of the bag. Make just one low payment. For a better tomorrow, dial CASH today. Call Statewide Capital now at 1-800-DIAL-CASH.
Another big story this afternoon. A barrage of bullets killed a Brooklyn man, but a 3-year-old boy who was sitting right next to him survived untouched by the gunfire. Tim Minton is live in Brooklyn with more on this murder. Tim.
Victoria, Jose Corderi and Mildred Melendez lived here at this building behind me. They called each other man and wife, common law situation. He wanted to get married right away at City Hall. She was holding out for something more. But when Corderi was gunned down last night, dreams of a fancy church wedding died with him. In the home she shared with Jose Corderi, Mildred Melendez was joined less than an hour ago by relatives trying to figure out how a trip to buy paper towels at the grocery ended in tragedy.
When I went to get the tissues down, I heard shots. 5 shots, 6 shots, 7 shots, a lot of shots that were shooting. And then everybody ran to the back because, you know, it's a hot neighborhood. You don't know what to expect in there. So then I remember, I said, oh my God, my kid and my husband is in the car.
According to police, Corderi and Melendez's 3-year-old son, Jamie, were sitting in this Volkswagen across from the Fort Greene grocery. Detectives say the sudden burst of gunfire left the 29-year-old victim slumped over. Glass shattered across the pavement, but amazingly left the terrified toddler sheltered by Corderi's body and only slightly bruised. Circumstances which, for now, seem to add to Mildred Melendez's pain.
He had him in his arm, and my son was crying, telling me, "Mommy, Mommy," so I had to take him to the doctor. I know he saved my son. I know he did.
A sad story, to be sure, and police say at this hour that they, officially at least, are stumped for a motive. However, there is more to this story. Mildred Melendez telling Eyewitness News a short time ago that while she doesn't think Corderi had any enemies, the truth is, she says, that she was involved in an illegal numbers operation and that she had been robbed and that he had been accused by members of her numbers organization of involvement in those robberies. So that may be not the bottom line, but perhaps close to it. And we're live this afternoon in Sunset Park. Tim Minton, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Well, the prison riot in southern Ohio, now a standoff, enters its third day, and moments ago, prison officials have discovered a 7th inmate had been killed. Inmates are also broadcasting their demands. They say if prison officials give them what they want, in return, they claim they will give up one of the 8 guards now being held hostage. Inmates have hooked up a loudspeaker, prison officials say, to let reporters outside the maximum security prison know they are angry over negotiations. A deal to allow a newspaper reporter to speak to inmates fell through after contact was made.
All that he was able to say was, "These are our demands," when we had to hang up the phone as per the instructions from the prison officials.
450 inmates are holding 8 hostages following a riot on Sunday in which 7 prisoners were killed and 18 other inmates and guards were injured. What still remains a mystery for reporters like Michael San Giacomo and others on the scene is the reason for the standoff.
We know nothing for sure. Prison officials, if they know, are not saying what caused the riot. They're saying that they're as much in the dark as we are. However, they have been having ongoing negotiations since it began on Sunday.
Also not revealed is the list of 19 demands from the inmates. And by last night, prison officials sought to put even greater distance between the inmates and the reporters just beyond the fence.
What we're going to do is remove you from the line of sight of the inmates.
They also cut off water and electricity to the inmates, making for an uncomfortable night.
As far as we know, the hostages are still all right. We continue to have contact when we do. We continue to ask about the focus of both the hostages and the remainder of the inmates in the block.
And again, prison officials say they have found the body of a 7th prisoner a short time ago. Victoria?
The standoff over democracy in Haiti has been going on since the military there ousted democratically elected President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. And now the Pentagon is planning to send troops to Haiti, not to fight, but to rebuild the country. President Clinton has also promised a $1 billion aid program, but there is a hitch. Before any of that can happen, Haitian authorities would have to reinstate Aristide and democracy. It is not a battle for democracy, but for survival going on in Bosnia right now. And the United Nations is trying once again to send in a convoy of food and medicine to Srebrenica, a Muslim haven. The plan is to use those trucks once they're empty to bring out more refugees. The town is under fierce attack from the Bosnian Serbs. The UN says yesterday's attack killed 56 people and wounded 90. Meanwhile, the NATO enforcement of the no-fly zone over Bosnia has begun. American, French, and Dutch jets are taking part in the operation. There were no reports of any confrontations yesterday, but that's not surprising since yesterday's attack on Muslims, like most of the warfare in the former Yugoslavia, was on the ground.
Some scary moments in the sky for former President Bush and his family. They were on a flight to Kuwait yesterday when the plane was forced to make an emergency landing. Witnesses said part of the left wing peeled away. No one on the plane, though, was hurt. Mr. Bush was going to Kuwait to be honored for his role in Operation Desert Storm. The trip was postponed until today.
Up next on Eyewitness News, Bill Evans with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast.
Plus, chalk up a mission accomplished for the Space Shuttle Discovery. It makes a cosmic catch in space. You'll see it right here. Plus, it's a $1 million deal. Actually, it's much more than that. Lawrence Taylor signs on the dotted line.
I think we told you the Giants came out to
Hi, everybody. I'm Regis Philbin.
Regis, I was just thinking, we've been doing our show for so long now that don't you think these people probably know our names by now?
I hope so, but we'll skip the introductions anyway and tell them who's joining us for our next show. Coming up on the next Live, best-selling author Dominic Dunn shares his latest tale of murder and mystery, plus the lead singer from the Lemonheads. Yes, the Lemonheads. Later in the week, the great Placido Domingo.
It's going to be a great show.
So join us for Live.
Tomorrow at 9.
Right here on Channel 7.
Living Well Lady Fitness Centers has an incredible offer just for you. Join today for only $6 a week with no restrictions, no limitations. Now that's a bargain worth calling about. For only $6 a week, you can choose when and where you want to work out. A good fitness program is something you owe yourself, so call us and join today. Remember, only $6 a week with no restrictions, no limitations. Call 1-800-LIVE-WELL, LIVWELL.
Deadbolt. I just smashed the door in.
I could pick most locks with a credit card.
I know when you're home and when you're not.
This is the ADT SafeWatch Plus home security system.
They were asleep. They ain't even know we was in the house.
It links your home to an ADT monitoring center where trained security professionals help monitor your home 24 hours a day.
If I had a family, I want to protect them from guys like me.
When trouble strikes, ADT can take action.
Summit Police, there's a break-in
ADT
in
helps
5 Summit
protect your
Road.
family and home against break-ins and helps with medical emergencies and fires. Call 1-800-ADT-INFO for affordable security for your home. Only $195 installed and $21.95 for monthly monitoring.
The house with an alarm system, you skip. The others, you go for it.
Call 1-800-ADT-INFO. You don't want to confront trouble face-to-face.
See this little guy?
Oh my gosh!
A 2-year-old geography genius. And this bigger kid?
I've been stumped yet.
The Alphabet Man.
Encyclopedia. ACCDEEILNOPY.
How about this big guy?
He had that long mustache.
The Jeopardy record holder.
102,597.
Well, this is Steve Hartman from Eyewitness News, taking his friends to the streets of Manhattan. Watch Life Around Here with Steve Hartman, the special, Saturday at 7, right here on Channel 7.
A game of cosmic catch has ended in victory for the crew aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery. Astronauts captured the reusable satellite Spartan this morning using a 50-foot robotic arm. The $6 million satellite was released into orbit last Saturday to collect data on the sun's halo and solar winds. The shuttle's due back on Friday. The sun's halo.
That's good.
It's neat. It's cool to watch.
Yeah. Let's see how good they do when you drop something behind the refrigerator, though. Yeah.
Are we going to see the sun's halo today?
Yeah, it is gorgeous outside.
Is it really?
That's what you said yesterday when we were sitting here waxing poetic about how beautiful the day was, and it was
rained on us.
cold.
I can't make you happy, but I'm going to try. As a matter of fact, look outside at this. This is for you, Victoria. Isn't this gorgeous? It is a great day in Central Park. This is obviously from Sheep's Meadow, where there are people getting a little sun, getting a little exercise, and not a bad day to be doing that either. Just gently on down the street. It's a good day for that. Well, let's get a look outside. Right now we have sunshine, and it is cool. It's still cool for this hour of the day. It's 57 degrees, humidity is at 53%. The barometer has been holding steady with high pressure that has been working its way across, but it's a cool high pressure system because it's giving us winds that are out of the north and the northeast at 10 miles per hour. So that makes this 57 feel more like 47. So there's a little bit of some crispness to the weather, and that will continue through the afternoon today. However, the winds will die down tonight and tomorrow as well. Look at these satellite pictures from the northeast. The big low that brought us the clouds yesterday and the sprinkles is finally working its way into the Atlantic. That low had been parked just off the coast here, right off the coast of Massachusetts at Cape Cod. Well, now as it pulls out, there's just a little bit of some wraparound clouds associated with that low, and the sun is being able to break through that, and that's why we have a mixture of clouds and sun. There are a few showers in the Ohio Valley that are working their way across. That's a little bit of an upper level disturbance that's just going to stay to the south of us and probably still produce some clouds here. Those are showers out of ahead of a big storm system that is slowly moving our way. Here's how the satellite pictures are from across the rest of the country. Here's the storm system that we are watching that will come into play later in the week. This storm system is producing a lot of nasty weather, gusty winds, damaging winds across Texas. It will have the possibility of producing tornadoes across Texas and Oklahoma later this afternoon as heating from the day builds up. You can see already thunderstorms firing up there as well, and as well across Missouri, where there has been a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for central Missouri over the last few hours. That'll be lasting through the afternoon. This is the yellow box here for that. Those thunderstorms have been rather heavy in Nebraska, southern South Dakota, and Missouri. This is the area of rain that we're watching because more of this will continue to form today, drop down across Texas, and then work its way our way. in the next 48-hour period. Well, for this afternoon, we expect to see lots of high pressure. It will, however, keep the winds flowing in out of the north, so it's going to be a cool afternoon. 58 will be the high. It will feel better than yesterday afternoon because we'll have much more sunshine this afternoon as this high is breaking up the clouds, clearing us out. Tomorrow, the winds will really die down, and we'll get up to 62 tomorrow, and it will feel more like 62 without that wind outside. So this afternoon, windy, cool, partly sunny, 58. Then tonight, it's going to be rather nice and cool. 30s in the suburbs, 42 the overnight low. Then tomorrow, sunny and cool, 62. That's just for you, Victoria.
Are we below normal?
Look at Thursday, however. Rain will be coming in like I'll answer your questions when you raise your hand in just a moment. Rain showers Thursday evening, possibly a thunderstorm on Friday. And then, yes.
Are we below normal?
Yes, we are below normal. We've been about a couple of degrees below normal. Very observant.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. Divorce attorney Marvin Mitchelson will pay for his crimes as one of today's people in the news. The man, known for his success as a palimony lawyer, was convicted of tax evasion. As part of his sentence, Mitchelson must pay $1.8 million in back taxes and spend 30 months behind bars. In football, it's the New York Giants that'll be paying but they believe that linebacker Lawrence Taylor is worth it. He scored an off-the-field victory by signing a 2-year contract for $5 million. And sports fans of the San Francisco Giants saw a special lineup yesterday. The Grateful Dead appeared to sing the national anthem for the Giants' home opener.
For the red parts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
A big hit for fans, and one you might expect since the Grateful Dead got their start in San Francisco.
Baseball, apple pie, and the Grateful Dead. Go figure. There's a young man who's getting his start in San Diego.
And he's got a long journey ahead. Up next on Eyewitness News, why he's rollerblading from coast to coast. It's more than just a publicity stunt.
Plus, rollerblading is one kind of exercise, running is another. Now, a surprising new study about your health and long-distance running.
They risk their lives to save yours.
Let us breathe for you, come on!
They put it on the line every day.
You just block everything else out and focus just on the patient.
Tonight at 11, go with New York's Emergency Medical Services crew. Ride with the men and women who struggle with life and death in a race against time.
Go! We're out of here.
Feel the danger.
Go with us, go with us.
When Eyewitness News rides with the lifesavers. A special report tonight at 11, right here on Channel 7.
A truly tender experience comes along so very rarely. Fortunately, such tenderness awaits you in every Bounty bar, where a sea of the most luxurious chocolate embraces coconut so moist and tender it could only come from paradise. Bounty, the taste of paradise.
Try a little tenderness.
Whatever reasons you had for not getting cable TV, starting now, you just ran out of them. Because cable TV offers installation for just $9.95, plus Showtime, HBO, the Movie Channel, and Cinemax. Get big savings when you order cable and premium TV. Showtime has spectacular blockbuster movies, Basic Instinct, Hook, exclusive engagements. HBO has huge box office hits, Lethal Weapon 3, Batman Returns, big names and special events. Watch the Movie Channel for non-stop entertainment action. BUGSY and Cape Fear. Cinemax has sensational movies around the clock. Patriot Games, Stephen King's Sleepwalkers. Call now toll-free and get even more. Get cable TV with 24-hour news, sports, kids shows, music videos. You'll have all the reasons for having the time of your life. Call 1-800-OK-CABLE and get installation for only $9.95 when you order cable and premium TV. Call 1-800-OK-CABLE now.
A new study suggests that going the distance can benefit your heart. Researchers at Stanford University examined the arteries of 22 middle-aged men. Half of them were marathon runners, running at least 40 miles per week. The others led a more sedentary lifestyle. Findings showed the runners had dilated coronary arteries, which allows for better blood flow and, in the long run, could mean healthier hearts.
And it's time to see what's coming up on Eyewitness News at 5. And for that, we go to Greg Hurst, who's in the newsroom. Greg.
And here are some of the stories we're working on for Eyewitness News at 5 o'clock. Believe it or not, a lesson in economics, a school where the tuition may actually go down this year. We'll tell you about that today at 5. Also, a major blow against Woody Allen and his child custody battle with Mia Farrow. plus awaiting word. The grand jury hearing evidence against Joey Buttafuoco. Both sides say they expect an indictment in this case, but when will it come? We'll find out today at 5. All this and much more when you join us today. Hope to see you then. Now back to the studio.
And finally, an incredible 3,000-mile journey. One man crossing the country to raise money and perhaps also raise our spirits. Marty Velasco-Hames has our story.
A lot of people might be intimidated by even trying to rollerblade, but not Casey Peretti. In fact, he picked up the sport after losing one of his legs in a car accident with a drunk driver. It happened just when Casey was becoming a star college basketball player.
When you're an athlete like that, and you have a scholarship, you get everything you want, and people don't think there's anything you can't do. And I went from that to being an amputee, where people don't think you can do anything.
Determined to prove the skeptics wrong, Casey was able to get a state-of-the-art artificial leg that not only allows him to rollerblade, but perform skating stunts. But perhaps the biggest stunt so far is the journey he's now on, rollerblading with buddy Joel Bott from San Diego all the way to Washington, D.C. Today is day 7, and as you might imagine, it hasn't been easy.
We've had some problems. Our feet have gone numb. I got an infection in my leg. It hasn't been like we just get it, we skate, and it's recreational activity. It's been hard.
This track is also allowing Casey to raise money for a new foundation in which prosthetics can be provided for children who need them but can't afford them. In addition to that, he also hopes to set an example for others.
With all the advancements, and the technology that we have today, there aren't people with disabilities anymore. There's just people with different abilities.
Casey Peretti expects his trip to take about 2 months. And that is the news for now. I'm Victoria Corderi.
And I'm Tim Fleischer. For Bill Evans and all of us here at Eyewitness News, go out and make it a great day.
And join us again for Eyewitness News at 5, 6, and 11, and again tomorrow at noon. Bye.